Howdy y'all, welcome back to Rat's Nest Hot Rods. We are chemically stripping the roof and rear quarters of a 1965 Cadillac. It happens to be my car. So you'll get to see the process here. Use an aircraft stripper. You can pick it up at your local auto parts store. I've heard it used to be a lot stronger. Seemed to work pretty good for me, especially on the most recent layer of paint that had been put on this car. It has two real paint jobs on it, and then some other accident damage in the past that we'll uncover together, and you'll see some of that on the rear quarter when I get to that. The biggest thing that I learned through this process was have a 5-gallon bucket half full of water by you at all times. When your hand starts stinging, dunk your hands in the water. It'll instantly neutralize the stripper because it's an acid, and you can get back to work. So long rubber gloves. I used my papper, the 3M papper VersaFlow during this, because that stuff smells freaking horrible and it cannot be good for you. So the papper worked great, no complaints there. I'll finish off masking up this roof section here and we'll get to work. Let's speed it up. I think if you keep your eye on the paint, it'll start curdling up really quick. In high speed, it's kind of fun to watch.
Oh, there was a boy in Arkansas who wouldn't listen to his ma when she told him that he should go to school. He'd sneak away in the afternoon, take a little walk, then pretty soon you'd find him at the local auction barn. He'd stand and listen carefully, then pretty soon he began to see how the auctioneer could talk so rapidly. He said, oh my, it's do or die, I've got to learn that auction cry, gotta make my mark, be an auctioneer. $25 bid and now $30 30 bill, give me 30, make it a 30 bid upon a $30 bill, give me 30, who would have bid a $30 bill? $30 bid and now 35 bill, give me 35, make it a 35 bid, 35, who would bid it at a $35 bill?
All right, this has been on the car for 45 minutes. As you can see, I picked up some real light mill plastic from Home Depot on the painter's aisle. The acid does not affect that plastic whatsoever. You do that to keep the moisture in. The chemical tends to dry on you really quick, and if you cover it up like that, it stays moist and continues to work longer. So I think that's a must-have for doing something like this, especially on a gigantic roof like this. Using a metal putty knife here, not putting any pressure at all, and it's coming off just like you see there. And I'll switch out to a 4-inch Bondo spreader here in the future. I get a little concerned with gouging into the metal and causing rust issues. I'm going to take this, for the most part, strip it down to the red oxide paint underneath. What I noticed was the urethane primer base on top, whatever was there, comes off and just kind of flakes off like this, and then the lacquer, the old lacquer paint job, I would assume, from 65, liquefies, and you just kind of scrape it off with a Bondo spreader and then wipe it off into a rag, and that'll take the red oxide primer off too. Without further ado, let me speed this up and we'll get to another application.
Every day he did his best, and all could see he didn't just practice called bids both night and day. His pap would find him behind the barn just working up and off the storm as he tried to imitate the auctioneer. Then his pap said, son, we just can't stand to have a mediocre man selling things at auction using our good name. We'll send you off to auction school, and then you'll be nobody's fool. You can take your place among the best. $35 bid and now $40 bill. Give me 40, make it a 40 bid upon a $40 bill. Give me 40, hold a bid, a $40 bill. $40 bid and now 45 bill. Give me 45, make it a 45 bid, a 45. We'll bid it at a $45 bill. from the boy who went to school. They grew a man who played it cool, came back home a full-fledged auctioneer. And people came from miles around just to hear him make that friendly sound in that field.
All right, another 45 minutes of application time, and we're going to get to it with the Bondo spreader. You'll see the steel wool come out here shortly, and also we'll jump in with a wet rag and neutralize everything with water. It's important to do that. Don't just let it sit. I do see a lot of guys on the forums like creeping out about using an acid on their car because they're worried about their epoxy primer and things like that. And yeah, there's a lot of talk about it, and I know SPI and a lot of the big guys that do their epoxy say absolutely no acid beforehand, but I'd really think they say that because most nitwits don't take the time to neutralize their work. So, and it also does sound strange to put water on a freshly stripped car, but you'll notice here and in the videos upcoming, I take it down to mostly the red oxide, and then come back and use a DA and a Bondo buster to take it down further, and then we'll also get into some sandblasting to take it all the way down. And I use OSFO on anything that looks precarious, and then neutralize that too. So get it good and wet. You're not going to be throwing paint right on this thing right away if you do your work like I do, really slow. And don't worry about it too much. Get the water on there, and then you got all the right tools in your shop to take that rust off later. Don't overthink it, that's what I say.
His fame went out from shore to shore. He had all he could do and more. Had to buy a plane to get around. Now he's the top, sitting all the land lads pause and give this man a hand. He's the best of all the auctioneers. $45 bid now, $50, 50 bill. Give me 50, make it a 50, better to borrow $50 bill. Give me 50, hold a bid, a $50 bill. $50 bid now, 55 bill. Give me 55, make it a 55, better to 55. Cool bid it at a $55 bill. Hey, well, all right, boys, he become a lot of 29. Let's open that gate and let him on out and see what we get for him. $25 bid now, $30, 30 bill. Give me 30, make it a 30, better to borrow $30 bill. Give me 30, hold a bid, a $30 bill. $30 bid and a 35 bill. Give me 35, make it 35, better 35. We'll bid it at a $35 bill. $35 bid and a $40, 40 bill. Give me 40, make it 40, bid upon a $40 bill. Give me 40, hold a bid, a $40 bill. $40 bid and a 45 bill. Give me 45, make it 45, make it 45. Sold it on for a $40 bill. $45 bid and a $50, 50 bill. Give me 50, make it bid upon a $50 bill. Give me 50, hold a bid, a $50 bill.
Time to work on the rear quarter and the sail panel. This is just as easy, except for the fact that you can't just dump the stripper on the roof or on the hood. On the flat surface, you gotta apply it. It's pretty viscous stuff, so it hangs on there pretty good. But you'll find that it wants to dry out a little bit faster on you because you don't put it on quite as thick. To back up a little bit, in that last clip you saw the water going on to neutralize. Immediately came afterwards, after we got it good and wet, and put the towel on it and hand dried it, and then we jumped on it with the air and dried it even further, just to keep the chance of oxidation down that little bit more. Other thing I learned here, and I should have done when I did the roof, is throw a tarp down or something. You're going to be slinging caustic material and crappy paint on the floor, and then as soon as you hit it with that water to neutralize everything and it gets on the floor also, it really becomes a slippery mess. So this I found what works good. Scrape everything into there, let everything go in there, fold it up, and then dispose of it in the best way possible. It does say that you can neutralize this stuff and it's environmentally friendly. It's kind of hard to believe, but it does neutralize with water, so what the heck. Do your best to clean up after yourself and dispose of that paint properly.
I sing for my friends, as death's cold form I see when I reach my journey's end. Who will sing one song for me? I wonder who will sing for me when I'm called to cross that silent sea. Who will sing one song for me? When friends shall gather round and all look down on me, while they turn and walk away, or will they sing one song for me? I wonder who will sing for me when I'm called to cross that silent sea. Who will sing one song for me?
Two applications, and this is the point we're at, and this is where I'm going to stop, and we'll continue with the Mondo Buster, the Blaster, and DA Sander in the videos upcoming. You can see here, use a blanket, tarp, piece of plastic, anything, put it down on the ground, and it'll help you with your cleanup process. Do have a bucket of water with you, do use your respiration, do have steel wool with you, a Bondo spreader, plastic gloves, and I think you're going to do just fine. Just be patient with it, let it do its work, and yeah, you'll have 2 thumbs up in the future too. And it's tiring. Anyway, here's a little teaser for next week or whenever I get to making another one. We're going to start to blast the car using the Harbor Freight 40-pound pot blaster, and we're going to do that in the tougher areas up around the cowl area and the front door jamb and door sills and all that stuff. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, other than that, guys, thanks for the likes and the subscriptions. Really do appreciate it. It definitely helps push it out to lots of folks, and I hope everybody finds it educational or entertaining at the most. I do enjoy watching everybody else's videos on here. So there's a look at the Blast Media recycled glass, and we will see you next time. Peace and grease, sucker.